Well, thank you very, very, very much. I was wondering, has anyone ever got their email address hijacked and someone took it and said you were in some foreign country and you were stranded and you needed money? Has that ever happened to anybody? Would you raise your hand if that happened to you? Just raise your hand. So there's one, there's two, there's not too many, three. It happened to me twice. Man. First, a couple months ago, I was supposedly stranded in the Philippines. Needed money. I came back. And then just this week, they did it again. They said I was stranded in, where the heck was I stranded again? Ukraine. I was in Ukraine. I needed $2,500 to get out. I don't know how they do that, but they get all your contacts and they spread it out. But that was okay, though. But anyway, that night, I call home to my mother, and the first thing she blurts out to me is, "Tommy, why didn't you tell me you needed money?" I said, "Mom, I spoke to you this morning. Did you think I was in the Ukraine?" And then she silenced, and she realized that sounds kind of foolish. Well, anyway, and she changed the subject. You know, when I think of Christmas, right? We humans, the human race, people ourselves, stranded, lost. And God sent prophets, He sent teachers, priests, sent us commandments. Not even needing money, but said, "I would save you and I'll bring you back. But I'll give you the best that I have. I'll give you my Son, Jesus. That you may know Him, and we who are stranded, we who are lost our way, that may know the way to the Father." And that's how it really is to me, what Christmas is like. That Jesus saw we were stranded, doesn't send money, but He sends us His only Son. You know, last week I spoke about having faith and doubts and the rise of atheism. But I find God all over the place now. You know that? Well, 2 days ago I was over at Ridgecrest Nursing Home and visited some patients. There's one guy I visit. He's not a member of our church. He's not even a Catholic Christian. Actually, I think he's Jewish. He's Jack, and they call him Jack the Jewish guy, or, sorry to say this, but they call him Jack the Jew. Now, I'm not trying to be derogatory. Please, I'm a Jewish here. Please understand. That's what we call him in a nice, friendly term. Oh, Jack the Jew. So I get to see Jack. I talk to him, and just small talk. Anyway, I wish him Merry Christmas to Jack, and he wishes Merry Christmas to me. There's nothing like, "Oh my God, I've offended him. He's not Christian." He doesn't care, sure, because you know what it means. It means a wish of wellness, of blessings, of joy and peace. So he takes it in great faith, and also wished him Happy Hanukkah. Anyway, I was about ready to leave his room. I spotted on his tray by his bed where they put the food in the metal bar. He had on it the magnet we gave out a couple years ago here at the church. And on that magnet was the phrase from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verse 37, "For nothing is impossible for God." I said, how about that? Jack the Jew has the thing from Luke's Gospel. I thought, well, I don't even know how he got it. And I thought sometimes we get things, we just stick things up, and we sort of forget about it. You know, we get it, we just put it up, and all right, here, thank you, I'll stick it on the tray. But this had to be something important to Jack. You see, Jack's health was failing, and in the last few months, he changed rooms 3 different times. And so that means each time he changed his room, he made sure he took that magnet with him. The words from our gospel. For nothing is impossible for God. And I don't know what faith he is. I know he's Jewish and, by nationality. I don't think he really practices, but it had some sort of effect and some sort of touch and sort of blessing in his life. For nothing is impossible for God, that He sent us His only Son. I love animals. As a kid, people think, "Oh, you must have had a lot of animals." I didn't have any pets growing up. Oh, excuse me. I had a pet turtle. That was it. Growing in apartments in New York, you weren't allowed dogs, you weren't allowed cats, so I had a little turtle. We had this little plastic dish with this little plastic palm tree, that was it. You ever seen those little thing, the little phone? Oh, I was mesmerized, just staring at this little turtle. I used to love how they eat, and you see that little throat, a whistle, and he'd come up to the water. But anyway, that was my only pet, the turtle. But now I'm fascinated by animals. That's why I enjoy seeing the camels, the sheep, and the donkey. Of course, dogs. You may have come across that story the other week up in New York City. Cecil Williams, who who's blind and had his guide dog, Orlando, with him. And there he's waiting for his train at the 125th Street subway stop there in Harlem. But he's also diabetic. And so while waiting for the train, I guess he had low sugar or whatever, and he fainted, he fell right into the tracks. The dog was on the platform, but immediately jumped down to his master. I'd love to tell you it was like Lassie and got him and dragged him to safety, but the dog didn't do that. What the dog did was he began licking his face, sign of a love and affection. Anyway, the train became closer and closer. Tracks were rumbling, the lights getting brighter. And what to me was amazing was as close as that train getting the noise, the shaking of the tracks, and seeing it coming, the dog wouldn't leave. The dog didn't try to get away. It stayed with his master by his side. Luckily, the engineer saw him and was able to slow down to some extent, and both of them were able to sort of roll to a little trowel on the side, and they escaped with minor injuries. But I was fascinated by that, the loyalty of that dog. Even in the face of this danger, he wouldn't leave. And I often think that's how God is like in our life. That's what Jesus is for us. We all go through difficult times. We all go through struggles. Life can be difficult. And having faith in Jesus doesn't mean, okay, I'll take away all your problems, no more worries, I'll drag you to safety. That's not his promise. His promise is that I will be with you, that I will never leave you. And that's what Christmas tells us. That God loves us so much, He gave us His Son Jesus, that I would not be alone, that I would know Him here, His strength, His peace, His joy, and His presence. Did you see this Time magazine the other week, who made the front cover, Man of the Year? Did you see that? Our Holy Father, Pope Francis. How about the Man of the Year? And I want to say is, what the heck did you do to deserve that? Truthfully, come on, right? What did he do? I like a recount. You said, what? No, seriously. He became Pope in March. He really started doing things to April and May. The year's half over. Did he solve the world hunger problem? Did he broker peace in the Middle East? Did he deal with the terrorists? Nothing. I said, what did he do to be Man of the Year? And what he did was the little things. He has touched us. He has inspired us. So he tells us it's not doing great things. It's the small acts of kindness and thoughtfulness. Well, just like last week. Now, he could have had a big celebration, Anyone would love to have been invited to the Pope's birthday party. Wow. Hey, he could have had a packed house, but he didn't. He had a handful of certain priests, I guess those who worked with him. But besides them, he invited some of the homeless. In fact, one of the homeless brought his dog to the birthday celebration where the Pope said Mass. So I said, wow, the Pope had a dog at his Mass, so I can bring my dog to church now. See, the Pope said okay. Now no one can say anything to me. Hey, the Pope said it's okay. He didn't say anything. He didn't have a problem with it. I like that. But really, they had a little Mass with the homeless, and even the dog was present. Then after Mass, the Pope had his breakfast, and he invited the homeless to eat with him, and the homeless joined him, and the dog as well. See, it's those things. Or it's a phone call to someone who's in distress. I mean, can we do the same thing? Don't we know people who love to hear our voice, that we give a word of encouragement? I'm thinking of you. And that's what the Pope has done. That's what the Pope has done. He reminded us it's not in great things, but in small things. And you know what happens when you do that? You find God. You find Jesus. He's born again in you. And so Christmas doesn't have to be just for one day or a couple of days. It's a lifestyle. And our Pope Francis has reminded us, small acts of mercy and compassion to the outcast, to the lonely, to the forgotten. For what you do for them, you do for Christ. And so may we have that Christmas spirit, not just today, but each day of our life, to bless those who need our blessing. Merry Christmas.